What would it mean for the military, and in particular for women in the military, to have someone accused of sexual assault as defense secretary? A study back in August out of Brown University found that the number of sexual assaults in the U.S. military is likely 2 to 4 times higher than government estimates. It also found, on average, over the course of the war in Afghanistan, 24% of active duty women were sexually assaulted. The attorney for Trump's defense pick, Pete Hegseth, confirmed to NBC News that he paid a woman a settlement after she accused him of sexual assault, although his lawyer says the 2017 encounter was consensual. Joining us now, Allison Jaslow, CEO of Iraq and Afghanistan Veterans of America. Allison served 2 tours in Iraq, and we thank you for your duty. What do you think it could mean for the military to have someone accused of sexual assault as defense secretary?
Well, like with any organization, the tone for an organization is set at the top. And so I don't know that it sets a really great tone. And that's also, very important. We have an all-volunteer force right now, and the military is dealing with the recruiting crisis. We need a culture in the military where people are wanting to raise their hand and step up and serve. And, again, the culture gets set from the top. And if we're not setting a good culture, we're going to have military readiness issues. This is, broader than just the individuals who might be impacted by a poor culture. It's actually a national security problem.
Well, I mean, obviously there have been problems over the years just fulfilling what the need is in the various services. But also the question isn't just recruitment, it's staying in, right? Could you see a situation where it becomes discouraging for women who are within the military because they have been seeing some efforts, right, to address this problem?
Yeah, I mean, it's an age-old story of people making the decision not to serve anymore because they served under poor leadership. And so poor leadership that high up in the ranks could really have some cascading effects on the all-volunteer force.
Beyond the military, the active duty military, a Pentagon report showed with more than 1 in 5 female students in the academies report being victims of unwanted sexual conduct between 2021 and 2022. I once asked a member of Congress who had served in the military, a woman, whether my godchild, who was considering going into one of the service academies, should do it. And she said no. For a variety of reasons. She asked me some detailed questions, but the Pentagon had long ago pledged to address it. Are you concerned, or are you hearing any concern about whether efforts to address the problem will go away or be diminished?
I haven't heard anything to this point. I will say the current administration has taken a lot of leadership in terms of making this a priority at the defense secretary level. The military, like any organization, it's going to take time for culture change to fully be implemented. But I think, key to that is also accountability. And over time, there are some leaders who haven't been held fully accountable. And people who are going to be coming forward for their sexual assaults need to know that the person who assaulted them is going to be held accountable, but also the leader who is leading an organization that's allowing service members to think that that's okay. And so, there's still a lot of work that needs to be done in that regard. But we've moved, in a really good direction, in my view, even though there still seems to be a persistent problem in the military. Actually, there's evidence of it, but we've moved in a pretty good direction since, the start of the Iraq and Afghanistan wars.
Pete Hegseth also faced a backlash for saying that women shouldn't have combat roles. And Democratic Senator-elect Elissa Slotkin, who is a former CIA analyst and Department of Defense official, talked about the impact she's already seeing.
There is absolute hallway constant chatter and conversation and concern from senior women officers. But also I've heard from folks who I've recommended to service academies, young women who are just starting out their career saying, am I going to actually be able to accomplish what I want to accomplish here? So I don't think it's an understatement to say that there is real stress in the force right now.
As of 2022, women made up around 17% of all active duty military personnel. Are you concerned that Hegseth's views on women in combat could also, we talked about the big picture, but that could suppress recruitment and career advancement, frankly, of women in the military?
Well, his comments are disappointing in my view. Hegseth is a contemporary of mine. I think he's 2 years older than me. He served in the wars that have been fought on an asymmetrical battlefield where you couldn't avoid combat if you tried. So, it's such outdated views given his lived experience are really disappointing. I would say it's also, worthwhile for your viewers, especially, to know that, like, the women who are graduating from Ranger School, a school that has a 50% failure rate, are objectively physically and more mentally tough than many other men who are serving. So maybe not every woman's going to find themselves in a combat role, but there are definitely women who are tough enough. And I've experienced in my time serving overseas in combat, women rise to the challenge over and over again, while I also saw male counterparts not meet the moment. So, it would be nice to have a SecDef who not only appreciated and acknowledged that reality, but also led a department that acknowledged that reality. So, again, I would say his comments are disappointing.
Yeah, and I think you point out something very important, that nobody who goes into, whether it's Rangers or any other field that requires, the kind of training and competition that you have to have before you're able to go, women are not given special treatment. They have to meet the standards just as anyone does. Ellison Jeslow, again, thank you so much for your service and the service you continue to provide. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, Chris.